Yeah.
Did you say that was fun?
Oh, boy.
You're not right.
A little bit of sarcasm there.
All right.
Throwing it to that guy in the tree to be Christmas, okay.
All right. Good morning. I officially call this meeting of the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to order, February 25th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kirshner will lead us with the prayer.
Okay, we bow our heads, vote of prayer. Thank you, Lord, for a wonderful day. Thank you further because the paper said it's going to be 59 on Sunday, so we appreciate that. I'd like to take a moment of silence this morning to remember two, what I consider to be icons of the community. We lost this past week, both Bob Overholt and Art Graham. They were two wonderful gentlemen, certainly different, but they showed that they cared for the county by their actions. And we ask, Lord, that you accept them openly into your arms. We ask this through your Son, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Zuller? Commissioner Kirchner?
Here.
We'll have the signing of the journal, and I'll accept the motion to approve the DVD recording of the previous session, Tuesday, February 16th, and the index.
I will so move.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Any adjustments to the printed agenda? Anything that needs to be
I
added?
wouldn't dare.
You wouldn't dare, okay. That would be nice, I wouldn't, yeah. Anything to add? Stacy? Okay. All right, then going with the agenda before us, under old business, first thing we got listed is the Batchelder Company.
I believe that the council has reviewed the contract and has approved it as it is.
Yep.
And so I think we are just formally signing it today, is that right?
Okay. All right, that's a company that's going to be a liaison for us in Columbus, with the city as well. It's with the city of Tiffin and with the Board of Commissioners on that cost that we had that legislation a few weeks back, waiting on that review, pending that review.
Yep, we'd already done the resolution, so this is just signing the contract.
Okay. Land Bank is listed.
She just need one.
And I think the land bank is a resolution we have in with the agenda, adding the additional 5% for the DRETAC fund, so that we can.
Fund it?
We just wanted to, yeah, so we can fund it. I just wanted to put it on the agenda so I wouldn't forget about it, but I think Nikki's got the resolution done and ready, so.
Yeah, the land bank's made the news here last week in that the state just approved another $100 million to fund it, and there's more money coming, so.
So all the eligible communities can apply for some of that money. So that's what
Exactly.
we're
Yeah, I don't know if
saying.
we're gonna be able to apply this round, but the next round, hopefully we will, so. They're looking at that very seriously for blighted communities. That's great.
She did say last week at the Foster Economic Development meeting that, she once again acknowledged and thanked the fact that we've got it through, and we got formed here in Seneca County, that some of the other communities, because the announcements in the grants were scrambling, trying to, and they said, you can't do it in time now. If you haven't already had your land bank formed, you will not be eligible this round. Go ahead and form it, and next, if there's something else in the future, but, so, it's gonna be competitive, but, could have been more if more people had got in, so. All right, EMS is on here.
No. All right.
Did you say yes or no?
Yes. Do you have any questions before I just give you the State of the Union, or what would you like?
How long is the State of the Union gonna be? I'll decide if I want
5
to ask
minutes.
questions. Oh, okay, all right, go ahead.
Did you have any specific questions?
No, yeah, just explain why you're here. It's supposed to be for the MOU, so.
Right. Well, there should be in your stack of stuff to sign a memorandum of understanding. And what I need that for is verification for a grant that I'm applying for. I'm applying for, it's an offshoot of the LGIF grant, a local government, what does that stand for?
Innovation Fund.
Innovation Fund. And it's basically a local government safety grant that I'm applying for that can be up to $500,000. And that's dependent upon a collaborative agreement with governmental entities. Since we formed 4 joint ambulance districts in the past couple of years, I have MOU signed from all of them, waiting on one, but have them all back from 3 of them. And I need one signed from the commissioners to verify all the paperwork that I'm putting in. The grant's written, I've got everything's done except for the MOUs.
Okay.
So once I get the MOUs from you and then one of the other joint ambulance districts, I can apply for that grant, and my goal with that is to purchase 4 new ambulances. This would be kind of a windfall for us. We've never really had that kind of an influx of funds all at one time. And with ambulances on the street and first-run service we have one that's 18 years old, this would be a really good thing. And we could replace all of our 90s model ambulances with new ambulances. Being that we budget every year in a vehicle replacement fund, we have about 150,000. At the end of this year, we'll have about 150,000. Actually, I think the way that works is we already have it. You know, they appropriated at the beginning of the year, so it's there. So if I get the 500,000, our matching fund would be 150. For 650,000, I've already got a signed agreement from an ambulance manufacturer that says they can build me trucks. As long as I buy 4 for 165 apiece. And do the quick math on that, 165 times 4.
That's 600 for 150, so.
Which is perfect, which falls right on what I want. And it's not exactly what we've been buying in the past, but they're suitable, and I think that 4 new trucks would do as well.
Is there any value to the yellow trucks?
Absolutely. The 2 of the newest trucks that I would replace with these would be the best backups we've ever had. And then the other ones would still have probably in the neighborhood of $15,000 to $20,000 worth of value if we sold them, the gov deals type thing. And that's to me, that's a great opportunity. And this grant, when you read the instructions for the grant was almost written for us. It says it's designed for governmental entities that have a collaborative agreement or a shared service. It defines itself when you say we have joint ambulance districts that work collaboratively with the county. We provide the infrastructure, they provide the manpower. The grant was written for us. And so I got excited when I saw it and went ahead and wrote it up quick and went through it, made sure the numbers are right, and went out and got quotes from a few ambulance manufacturers throughout the state. I tried to buy local, but the closest manufacturer I can get to give me a decent price is in Indiana, Alfred, Indiana, which is close enough to Ohio you can almost throw a stone, but neither one of the Ohio guys have got back with me yet. But I'll be patient on that. I mean, you can't expect them to bend over backwards. You don't even have the money yet.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as it was, the thought was when our EMS system was formed over 35 plus years ago, I think that's fabulous if we are able to do this and provide good equipment for all of those volunteers that make the equipment work.
Sure, and the equipment that we have is completely serviceable. I mean, we don't wear stuff out generally, it just gets old underneath of us. And we maintain it very obsessively because an ambulance is something that has to work when you need it to work, so we make sure that they do. With that being said, we have the real possibility, this is part of the State of the Union I was talking about, a very real possibility by the end of next month, we're gonna have another joint ambulance district formed in Bloom Township. They're actually reaching out to Crawford County, Likens Township as well, because Crawford County's EMS system fell on its face when they went with a private and they pulled out. So Likens and what's the township right next to that includes, I'm drawing a blank.
In Crawford.
Crawford County, over where New Washington is. What is that? I don't remember the township. I have to see the map. But Likens Township's just south of Bloomville. And they've sent a representative of their township up to talk to our township several times, and they've got the paperwork drawn up. It's just a matter of getting signatures at this point. I don't want to put too much of the cart before the horse, but I think they're having very productive conversations, and I think they can see the value in what we do. With that being said, all the other township joint ambulance districts are doing really well. I'm absolutely amazed at how much work they've put into it. And it is truly a collaborative agreement. I mean, we go to a lot of meetings, and we make sure these guys get what they need. And the prosecutor's office has helped us a great deal. And the townships should be commended for all the work that they've done to make it successful. And we're charging ahead. Technology that we've invested in, that you guys approved, I really appreciate that. It's really making a difference. I see we're Chad here. We've been given Narcan at an alarming rate, but the fact that we have it to use is important. We're actually saving lives, and that makes everybody feel good and makes us feel like what we're doing is important. And this past weekend, I know you guys read that in the paper, but we were very successful. So
Did
we're
see
moving
that.
forward.
Good, Ken, thank you. I don't want to diminish the other things that we do here, but this is certainly the most important in my mind, the safety of our citizens. And to be able to get that grant would be a great thing.
It would be.
Thanks for your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, we have down Fifth Third renovations, and I'm thinking that's why John is with us.
I would think so. Here to discuss the question that came up about using the handicap restrooms in the CSB building compared to the putting new ones into the Fifth Third building. The buildings aren't built alike. One floor is here, one floor is here. The Fifth Third's up here, the CSB's down here. There's 4 to 5 foot difference. In order for us to put a ramp, and I'm not even sure on the slope of the ramp if we could do it legally, or, you know, certifiably, I should say, for handicap, we would have to take out at least one office and maybe 2 offices, because it might fall right in between the offices to put that ramp in. But even if we did that, we're cutting off the stairway to the, you know, for the whole building, the back stairway. You would be cutting that door off, and your ramp would start way back in the hallway of the Fifth Third, and it would end right about where the elevator is, in order to get a gentle
Get the right
slope.
grade, yeah.
So, with that 4 or 5 foot difference in floors, I just don't see where it's good. I mean, the Fifth Third renovation has to do with, you know, redoing things, adding offices, much needed offices, and by doing this, we're gonna run into some sort of trouble with that back stairway. Like right now, we're renovating the elevator and everybody's using the stairway, you know, it's down. So I just don't see it being feasible compared to the cost of putting in 2 bathrooms for the Fifth Third.
Sure.
So did not do any architectural drawings or just good old look at it and figure it out, you know, and it just doesn't look feasible.
Right. Well, I think if we're gonna make the improvements to that space anyway, having, you know, decent bathrooms is something we ought to just take care of, bite the bullet and get it over with.
Right. It is.
Because it's going to, even if we weren't ever using that space for that space to be marketable, if we wanted to sell it,
Exactly.
rent it, lease it, whatever, at least it's,
Exactly.
otherwise we're just having it go to another floor.
It is a separate entity, and the CSB building is old compared to, you know, what we're gonna do, older, I should say, and harder to work with because of stone that was used back in those construction days. So, compared to 2x4s today.
Yeah.
It was worth a look.
Okay, yeah, it absolutely was, but the floors, the first thing is the floors aren't even, they're not built alike.
Yeah.
The ramp would truly be a 4 to 5 foot ramp, and I think, I wasn't here, but go back to when you put the prosecutors in the second floor, that's not a ramp either, because I don't think they could make it certifiably ADA. So it's some steps going up, and it's the same difference, only a floor lower, so.
Yeah. All right, well,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
Sure.
Right, we're down to new business, so we can proceed there, starting with the tax incentive review console. What do we have to that?
There's a resolution on there. Julie needed board appointments. We had 3 board appointments from us, and it looked like all of them gave up their appointment seat, so we needed to find new people, and we got them, and
Oh, okay, so we'll be approving the new people, okay.
We do have people.
yes.
There are some suggestions going around.
Yep.
All right.
So we have resolutions for those. So, you wanna just go into the rest of the
Yep.
business? We'll do them with the rest of it?
Yep, do them right in there.
Okay, I've got bill vouchers, 12311, 12288, and 12461. Put those in any order by any chance, could I have a resolution authorizing a fund transfer be made to the Soil and Water Fund, moving $101,173 into the Soil and Water Fund. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation, the revolving loan fund, putting $34,375 into those lines. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the Ohio Peace Officer Training Grant Fund, putting $1,000 into training. Resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the CHIPS fund, retroactive to February 22nd. This is for $25,000. Once they get the draw in, we will get paid back the advance. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations for the Seneca County Sewer District, putting $10,000 into supplies. I have a resolution at the request of the sheriff's office. He couldn't be here today to give this information, but it's stepping up to reduce the number of people with mental illness and co-occurring substance use disorders in jails.
What's the acronym for that?
They called it stepping up, so I don't think it quite has a acronym yet. I have a resolution authorizing and designating an additional 5% of all collections of delinquent real property, personal property, manufactured and mobile home taxes and assessments to be deposited into the delinquent tax and assessment collection fund for the use in appropriating such amounts to use of the Land Reutilization Corporation and providing for related matters. That was a tongue twister.
Yeah, I want it.
That's for the land bank.
Right, I want to clarify that so everybody understands that.
Okay.
Yeah.
A resolution appointed David Zack, John Detweiler, and Chris Schieffer to the Tax Incentive Review Council for Seneca County, Ohio, the Rural Enterprise Zone. Do they have a term limit?
I think she asks us to reappoint them every year.
Every year, okay. I have a resolution adopting the updated compensation plan for the Seneca County Department of Job and Family Services, non-bargaining unit employees. This was presented when John was up here. And I have a resolution authorizing a contract service agreement with Quality Masonry Company for the Seneca County Museum porch renovation project. So the
I'll make a
resolution.
motion just to have some discussion here on this land bank deal.
All right, I will second the motion to approve. Yes, comments, questions, concerns?
Well, I think everybody needs to be aware, we are putting 5% of the delinquent tax collections into this account to help fund the federal land bank, but that money should come back to us exponentially or much more quickly than it would ordinarily, because the money will be used to either renovate or raise properties that will then be put back into the system as new houses or as properties that'll be used for another purpose, and that in turn will generate real estate tax revenue. So it's a good investment. I just want everybody to understand why we decided to do that.
All right, any further comments? No, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller? Commissioner Stacy?
Yes. All stand approved. All right, this will lead us to an opportunity for citizens' comments at this time. Anyone like to speak? Yes, sir?
I would like to thank you guys for approving the Stepping Up resolution. It's another opportunity for us and for the county and the local jail to receive future funding and grant opportunities. This resolution came because we are currently providing some services there, mental health and addiction, through a federal grant they will receive. So because of that federal grant that we received, that's why they want us to put this resolution forward hopefully to continue to receive grants in the future. So really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome. Thank you for what you do as well.
Yes, appreciate the program, I guess coordinated by Tiffin University, but with, I'm sure with your board's cooperation on the opiate awareness stuff last week, that Ken was part of that. Task forces are on the panel discussion, as well as Sheriff Huckleberry.
It's very well attended.
Yes, it was a good
and It
crowd.
was good discussion.
Yeah, so, and some nice coverage in the paper, so, you know, we gotta step up the awareness, or just continue to keep hammering at that, and people to understand the complexities of, you know, one use, as in the stories told there, so. All right. Anything else for citizens' comments?
Just so it's on the record, we have someone amongst us who's turning 40 today.
Really?
Yeah,
How could that happen?
and, you know, that means free donuts for the crowd. We don't want it to suggest that we're trying to influence the writing of the paper in any sense, but we do have free donuts for anybody that would like them. Say happy birthday to William as you go by.
You do have one quick, Tanya asked me to bring this up. There was some discussion with the WSOS about our CDBG 2016 allocation. We've discussed, and we also talked to the city about it, because they've done this quite a few times. We can ask the state to carry over our 16 fund money to be used in 2017, so we can combine 2 years, give us a little bigger pot of money in 2017, and it gives us and regional planning an opportunity to keep working on cleaning up the current, the WSOS, the CDBG grants, and allows the new director maybe to get in place and get acquainted to the program, instead of trying to, you know, we'll have to increase WSOS contract if we want them to move forward. We don't have any interested programs right now. I'm not saying there isn't one. There could be, you know, somebody out there that has one, but we wouldn't be forfeiting our money. We can send a letter to the state requesting that we carry over that money, but we need to do that by a letter. So Tanya wanted me to ask if you guys, you know, any thoughts on that? Do you have a problem holding that over?
I would not do, is there a deadline when we have to have that request in? I assume we got about a month or so, maybe?
Yeah, because I know the applications are due in June. We just wanted to get the letter in.
You get it in so we can, yeah. I'm planning to send, we had an exec committee meeting for regional planning yesterday afternoon, and so I'm planning to send an update to the board just on where things are, because we meet every other month, so we don't have another meeting, full board meeting until April. I could, in that letter, indicate that we're looking at doing this, even though this is the county's program, it's just administered by regional planning. Just, at least that would be a pool of people to put it out there, as well as anything that's in the paper, it's saying if any of the communities that are eligible for those fundings, some of our villages and so forth, had something that we would like to talk with them as soon as possible to kind of know where their thoughts were. I don't think we do, because I think Republic shared with me that they were not ready with their LMI information.
Right.
They were told that if they didn't have it done by, I forget whatever date, that they wouldn't be eligible, and that's what they shared with me, the councilman did not long ago, so I don't think they are. They're the only one I knew that was looking at doing something, but there could be somebody else out there.
Ken, as a matter of curiosity, I mean, you wrote that grant for the new ambulances. Do you think there's any hesitation on the part of department heads to write those grants when they hear about them because of the length of time that it takes? And part of that is there any place that you could go for administrative help when you need to write these grants at this point?
I know that NCOASE offered some assistance with help to write the grant, and I went to the informational session that they had on it. But looking at the grant, it's an all-online grant, and it really doesn't require a lot of assistance.
So you felt comfortable with
I
that?
felt very comfortable.
My
doing
concern
that.
might be that some department heads would know about grants and not do them because they don't have the time or
That may be true.
the inclination.
In my case, it only took me 3 or 4 hours to do everything that was required of it. I'm not too bad with the written word, so it works out for me. But I can't speak for others.
Yeah, everybody has different skill sets, you're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the numbers for me were relatively simple to get because we have really good record keeping. If other departments don't have all of those things in place, it may be challenging.
So did the COG reach out to you about
The
this?
COG put out an email, I think, to everyone,
Okay.
at least in the county, I think in the cities as well, because the cities can take a part in this as well. There's like $20 million in the pot for this one.
Okay.
And you can apply for it multiple times depending on what your collaborative agreement is with different entities. And you can apply for different projects. Vehicle replacement is just the very first one, so I went with that. There's also technology. It is for, it says it's aimed at EMS, fire, rescue, things like that, but also increasing technology, you know, like if you want to put a new server in or some sort of new software or whatever, you could apply for that. I can't possibly imagine spending that kind of money on something like that, so I figured vehicles are the big chunk for me.
Sure.
But for other folks, there may be, and the COG offered help with that. And to kind of give them a shameless plug, John DeVoli and Dr. Lahosky were going to do that free of charge to help with this grant. I don't know if they do that with everyone, but this one, there's no administrative fees to be paid for this grant. It says it right in the grant language.
Got it.
So they were just doing that, I think, to, you know, gather support. If they help us with this one, then maybe when there is one that has administrative
Yeah.
funding, they may get the nod on it. And they do certainly have some expertise in that area, but grants are something that's kind of like Dan and I, it's kind of in our wheelhouse. If we don't have grants, we're not here long,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, great, thank you.
In the COG, we're having a meeting out, they're having a open meeting today at 2:30. They
Yeah.
wanted to bring up that IT, or it's a safety grant. It's not an IT grant, I think they called it an IT grant, but it can be
Okay.
used for that.
That's $500,000.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need 5 entities to get the full 5, though. And that's where, I don't know how they're gonna work that, but
Usually those are, it's
I'm
like
sure they have it.
100,000
It's 100,000
entity.
per entity
Yeah.
with a max of 5 entities.
Yeah.
And then they also have a loan option. So if you have a huge project that you need $1 million, you can loan another 500 at a low or no interest. So,
The 5 and 5.
yeah. And actually, it says right in there, the more matching funds you have, the more likely you are to get it. That's why I wanted to make sure I mentioned that 150 that we got
Yeah,
squirreled away there.
Yeah,
Because 150 right now is not enough to buy an ambulance. But with the, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to make smart use of our dollar.
Thank you.
Mhm.
There's nothing else for citizens' comments. Take a motion to adjourn.
so move.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Stand adjourned. Thank you. 9:27.